Welcome. If you're watching this video, you are probably trying to do a little bit of research as to how much you can save on commissions. The great news is that commissions are negotiable, and I'm going to try to guide you through being able to negotiate that commission and what to watch out for. The typical commission is around 6%. It is the seller's responsibility to pay that commission. That's going to come from the proceeds of the property. The typical is 3% to the listing agent, 3% to the buyer's agent. Both of those numbers are negotiable, and I'm going to tell you why some agents will negotiate that and why some others will absolutely not. Some real estate agents are with a brokerage or with a team that charges them a percentage of that 3% that you will be paying them. So most of the time, those agents, they are trained as to how to fight for that commission and how to prove their worth to you. Most agents right now are willing to negotiate that commission. It is 100% a seller's market. So the least likely to negotiate their commissions are going to be agents that have to pay really high brokerage fees or agents that are in a team situation. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Here in Tucson or in Arizona, if the agent is from maybe Long Realty, Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, sometimes they have to pay fees from 30 to 60 and maybe even a little bit higher depending on what their team structure is. If you actually think about it, from that 3%, they've got to pay, like I said, it's typically like a 40-60 or a 50-50, but regardless, if they have to pay that 50%, you also have to take into consideration how much they're going to be investing in photography. How much time are they going to be investing? Are you going to be a difficult person to work with? And at the end of the day, they also have to pay the IRS. We have to pay MLS dues. We have to pay for our super keys. There's a lot of expenses that are related to being a real estate agent. Other agents unlikely to negotiate commission structures, and these come disguised in the form of no commission. If you look through the fine lines, you're going to notice that they have a variable service fee. And I'm going to dare to use Open Door as one example, where their service fees are typically somewhere between 7% and 14%. I created an iBuyer video that when I was with Realty Executives and with a team, and that's why I did a little bit of research as to iBuyers, because we did have that pamphlet from the title company that was comparing iBuyers versus agents and how much more you actually pay for the convenience, so that you're not inconvenienced by all of the incoming buyers. Any instant offers, Zillow is starting to get really popular right now, because Zillow is the number one, that's the favorite place to go for most buyers. And now it's starting to become one of the favorites to go for sellers. If you Google instant buyers or iBuyers or get a cash offer for my home or we buy ugly houses or any of those instant offers, sight unseen offers and stuff like that, they might make an offer that is going to be market value. But once you are under contract as a seller, most of the time, any contracts, any buying or real estate contracts, they mainly protect the buyer from the seller to have the ability to cancel. So keep that in mind. And last but not least, there are the wholesalers. A lot of wholesalers don't even hold a real estate license. They are not bound by the code of ethics to tell you and give you all of your options as to how to get the best amount for your property. If you want a cash offer for your property right now, I can act as a wholesaler. I can say, Mr. Seller, I will offer you market value for your property because it's in this, and that condition. I will give you comparables, so on and so forth, establish trust, walk your house, so on and so forth, right? We go under contract. You say yes. And then my inspection period starts. And that's when I start nitpicking the house, go through the roof, go through the AC, go through all of the major ticket items. So basically, I go out and I find the most expensive repairs that you can possibly have, and I convince you that no buyer is going to want to move forward if you don't repair that. So basically, I ask you for a price deduction. So going back to saving on commission, sometimes a lot of people are trying to save on commission, which could possibly be a big mistake, because the person that's going to look out for your best interest is always going to be 100% of the time is the real estate agent, specifically a realtor, specifically somebody that is bound to abide by the code of ethics. Most of the time it's going to be that real estate agent that's nagging you that to paint the house, that's telling you to get rid of that red wallpaper, that's nagging you to clean the hell up. It's usually going to be the realtor. But at the end of the day, if you are trying to save on commission, you got to watch out for these companies that will say that you're going to save on commission, but in reality their offer is going to be so low that you will end up paying some sort of commission because you got a really low ball offer for your house that you at the end of the day would be okay with. Okay, so don't forget that anyone who performs real estate on a regular basis does have an upper hand. So if they're not representing you as a listing agent, they are representing themselves as a buyer, and they're representing their company. So if you have made it this far, I thank you. My name is Adriana Valdosona. I am a licensed realtor. I work in Phoenix, Douglas, Tucson. If you don't give me an opportunity to give you free comparables and to give you my marketing plan, give somebody with a similar brokerage an opportunity to work for you, because these brokerages or agents from these brokerages are more likely to have the ability to discount their commissions because they're not giving everything and all of their money to somebody else. For example, Tierra Antigua, HomeSmart, some people in Realty Executives, some people in eXp Realty. It really does depend on the brokerage. So give a couple of agents an opportunity to tell you and to discuss if they actually pay somebody else a portion of the commission that they are earning. My commission is negotiable. I'm creating this video because I do sometimes discount my commission, and it does depend on the type of work that I'm gonna end up doing. One example that I did on one of my recent listings is I ended up doing an overhaul of the house. It was filthy, it was full of trash, there was still furniture, there was still items that I had to get rid of. So I ended up doing a lot of physical labor myself. There was no way in hell that I was going to discount my commission. I have discounted my commission on repeat sellers, and I have discounted my commission for sellers that do exactly what I say. Not only do they price the property at market value, but if there's paint required, they'll paint. If it needs new carpet or carpet cleaning, they'll do the carpet cleaning. They'll do the staging. They will follow the protocol. My listing will not be negotiable if you want to overprice your house, because my job is to sell your house, not to babysit it. My job is not to sit on property. My job is to market it and to get it sold. So when I get sellers that are unrealistic or very hard-headed, I would much rather let the listing go and move on to something that is sellable. So if you want to save a little bit of a commission, I'm going to give you a couple of questions prior to attempting to negotiate with somebody and possibly offending an agent, because that's what we do for a living. Some agents really dislike an attempt to negotiate or an attempt to not see their value. So before attempting to negotiate the commission, ask a couple of questions. For example, do you pocket 100% of your commission, or do you have to pay your broker or team a specific percentage of that commission? Mine, for example, and the majority of Tierra Antigua agents is 100%. So another question would be will you be signing this contract, or will you be wholesaling it? There are realtors, like I said, I can act as a wholesaler. If you want to get rid of property and you talk to me, I can act as a wholesaler, but you bet your butt that the offer is going to be a discounted offer, because a wholesaler is trying to sell to an investor. They're not trying to sell to a regular buyer. They're trying to sell to an investor. An investor will probably pay somewhere between $5,000 to $10,000 on the contract assignment. So basically, it's kind of like pawning something, right? You go and you're willing to get a 50% value for it, and then the person that pawns it sells it for a little more expensive, and they make their little commission, even though they're saying that it's not a commission. At the end of the day, it's the same shit. That's an important question to ask is, are you representing an investor in this purchase? Another thing that you can ask, if the agent is someone like myself that actually earns the majority of the commission, you can ask them if the commission is going to be variable. What does that mean? Usually when we take a discounted commission, we don't like to make that commission variable, because that means that if we bring in the buyer, we can negotiate the commission down further. If from the get-go we agreed that that was going to be a variable commission. So for example, on most of my discounted commissions, I do not make my commission variable, because if I bring in the buyer and I already have you as a seller, basically I always ask for permission, is may I represent both. If I can represent both, then I'm going to pocket, you bet your butt I'm going to pocket both commissions, because at the end of the day, and I'm representing two parties. But if I am actually getting paid the full 6%, I make my commission variable. What does that mean? That if I actually bring in the buyer because I wasn't tried to be negotiated with, I would be willing to bring down my commission. So always watch for the commission, if it is variable or not variable. So I hope that this video gave you a little bit more insight as to commissions and what to expect and how to negotiate the commission. And I hope that if you do end up trying to sell your house, that you list with me. Obviously, that's why I'm making this video. It really depends on what your goal is, how fast you want to get out of the house, how much longer you want to stay in the house. I'm just trying to help you understand that the first cash offer might not always be the best cash offer, and the first listing agent that you interview might not always be the best listing agent to list with. I hope you found this informative. I hope you give me an opportunity, and I hope you share this video or like or comment, even if it's a negative comment. Hasta la vista, baby.